And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with the Game Boy Geek.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. We're going back in time through American history today. We're looking at Timeline, American history. We're looking at this is 2 to 8 players from Asmodee, and it plays in about 15 minutes. This is about the 6th or 7th version of Timeline that's come out. They've done ones for inventions and things like that. I just recently reviewed one about Americana pop culture. Let's take a look. I'll show you it's played. I'll see you on the other side. At the beginning of the game, one card is flipped with the date side showing in an event. So this says Battle of Gettysburg, 1863. Everybody else has dealt 4 cards, making sure that the date side is not being showed and making sure that nobody ever picks it up and flips it over or looks, because on the back side it tells you the answer to what date these different cards are. So we have Ronald Reagan, first elected president, Space Shuttle Challenger explodes, foundation of Harvard College, and Martin Luther King assassination. So when it's your turn, you're going to pick one of these 4 cards and you're going to place it on the board up there, and you're going to slide it in between different dates. Now at the beginning of the game it's very simple because there's only one out there. So I could say Martin Luther King assassination, and I basically put it where I think it goes, and then once it's there we flip it and we see whether this is in correct order from left to right, going from lowest to highest. Here's 1863, 1968, and yes, that was correct. So I only have 3 cards left. If I was incorrect, I would have to take another card from the top of the pile and put it there, so essentially I would not have gone down any cards. Now as the game goes on, it's going to get a lot harder because more cards are coming up. For example, look at all these ones with the different dates. Andrew Jackson at 1828. We have 1920, 19th Amendment. We have 1960, John F. Kennedy elected president. 1968, Nixon elected president. And we have crash of the Exxon Valdez in 1989. So now when it's my turn, I'm going to have to figure out where does one of my cards go. Okay, so let's do the Challenger. I know it was sometime in the 80s. Now, was it after 89 or before 89 and before 68? I think it was in here. So I would put it here and then flip it over. Ooh, 86. I barely made it because this one is 1989. And this would continue until somebody finishes and does their last card. Now when that happens, if they're the only person to go out that round, they win the game. If they are not, anybody that did not go out that round is eliminated, and everybody else that actually finished that round gets to pick one card, and you continue going that way with that one single card until only one person finishes correctly that round. Now I don't want to show you too many Ruin the Surprises here, but I will show you a handful more. So look at the White House inaugurated. The artwork on these cards are really nice too. The Constitution of the United States, the beginning of the Vietnam War, end of war 1812, Louisiana Purchase. We have the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Paris Peace Accords, and so on and so forth. Thomas Jefferson elected first president. So we have all these different ones here. Purchase of Alaska. So you can see all the different types of cards that are here with some great artwork. And again, the first one that gets rid of their cards and is the only one is the winner. All right, there is Timeline American History. I really do love this the Timeline series in general. They first came out with like inventions and innovations and things like that, and now they're doing history and pop culture and other things like that. In general, I love this series of Timeline. It's a way that you can have fun very quickly in 10 to 15 minutes. You can learn some things. You can play while you're, I don't know, before a game night happens. You can play just sitting around having dessert or waiting for dinner. It plays in such a quick time. It doesn't take up a lot of table space. The cards are really small. I really like that. The one downside to this is that if you play it a lot and you only have one of them, it will sort of, you might see a lot of the repeats and it might get a little stagnant. But they're so cheap. They're like $10 on CoolStuffInc.com that you can buy 2 or 3 of these and mix them together and it's great. So overall, I love the Timeline series. I really like this American history. I like history in general. I love historic themes. I love everything about history. And I liked this one even better than the Americana one, which was more pop culture based. The kids might like the Americana version better because it has more pop culture stuff, but the American history is great too for the adults. So you should probably just buy both of them and mix them together so you and the kids can both have a lot of fun. I love learning while you're playing Timeline American History.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching the Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at coolstuffinc.com.